President Buhari in Yokohama, Japan for Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD 7.
We are out that there is in Nigeria's seed market, you should not see bad and adulterated seed again.
Tough times ahead for producers and marketers of fake and substandard seeds.
The spiraling cost of transport costs is threatening the national economies of our respective countries.
Sub-regional summit on impacting West and Central African economies gets underway in Abuja.
Before the end of this week, all the non-sensitive materials for the conduct of elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states will be in those states.
Ahead of Kogi and Bayelsa governorship elections, INEC begins distribution of non-essential materials. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar in Abuja. Michael Olale joins me from Lagos. Dibabari Seadome Nweke is in Port Harcourt, while Naomi Abuaku will be reading from Maiduguri. President Muhammadu Buhari is in Yokohama, Japan, ahead of the 7th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, known as TICAD 7. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president is attending the conference for the second time, having participated in the TICAD held in Nairobi, Kenya in 2016.
President Muhammadu Buhari, accompanied by the governors of Borno, Kwara and Lagos states, arrived Hanade International Airport, Japan at about 8 o'clock Monday evening local time. On hand to accord him a befitting welcome was a high-powered Japanese government delegation led by a special TICAD envoy, the Nigerian ambassador to Japan, Professor Muhammad Gana-Isa, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama. President Buhari is expected to join other Japanese and African leaders, international organizations, private companies, and civil society organizations at TICAD 7 to be hosted by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. It has as its theme Africa and Yokohama sharing passion for the future.
TICAD is about African development, collaborating with Japan. Therefore, if there's so much development deficit in Nigeria and we find a country like Japan wanting to help Africa, Nigeria should then just benefit from that kind of initiative. So it's very important for President Buhari to be here. In fact, I think any African leader who is not here is dealing his country a bad card.
He's expected to address the conference at plenary on Thursday.
Yes.
What will he be telling participants?
Well, first he's going to review TICAD 6 and the advantages Nigeria has got, and then lay an agenda on the table on what can be done for Nigeria particularly during and after TICAD 7. If you look at TICAD 6, 30 billion was advanced to Africa. And then there were some others apart from that, another 20 billion, another 500 billion and all that. So it's open for whichever country is interested.
Formed in 1993, TICAD provides an open forum that generates innovative discussions amongst various stakeholders on African development.
I'm more concerned about where I have comparative advantage, which is agriculture. And agriculture here is well advanced, and there is so much that we can tap to benefit our people back home.
This report has said you agreed to the Ruga policy. Is it true?
Well, right from the inception, we never objected to it. We already have a law in place, so where people are free to come and do their ranching. And we are also going to embrace the federal government program based on our law. So we are not rejecting it.
The Nigerian leader will also attend some side events and meet chief executive officers of some Japanese companies with huge investments in Nigeria. Since the Nairobi conference, otherwise called TICAD 6 in 2016, Japanese government and companies have been very active in supporting Nigeria's agriculture, healthcare, power supply, and youth empowerment. Here in Yokohama, President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to push for broader Japanese assistance in science and technology, innovation, human resource development, and other areas critical to the economy of the country. From Japan, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOD group has had nothing to do with President Muhammadu Buhari since he arrived Yokohama, Japan on Monday. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says Nigerians at home and in the diaspora are urged to disregard concocted stories backed by spurious visuals of any protest or harassment of President Buhari and his delegation. The statement noted that it is the stock in trade of hate mongers who do not realize that the rest of Nigerians have left them far behind. President Buhari is scheduled to speak at the 7th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD 7. Nigeria is deploying the expertise and capacity of the Interpol to tackle challenges of insecurity largely banking on the global spread of the police organization in 194 countries, to track the activities of criminals across the borders and bring them to face the law. To this end, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has initiated the 2019 International Criminal Police Organization Interpol Week to bring to the public the range of Interpol tools for effective collaboration. Francis Fong has details.
Nigeria sits on the crossroads between West Africa and the Sahel's most violent conflict zone. The resulting instability is said to provide fertile ground for terrorist groups and criminal networks, issues that the country has been grappling with. Having studied the international characteristics of these crime areas and their links with criminal networks around the world, the Nigeria Police is seeing a role for the Interpol National and Central Bureau in Nigeria as fundamental to maintaining national and regional security.
We shall also work with other agencies and the international partners to ensure that the Nigeria Police becomes a model in law enforcement in our region.
The Nigeria Police is using the Interpol Week 2019 to come up with plans on how to work with the global police community to investigate crime and bring the criminals to justice. A framework for the collaboration with other security agencies in Nigeria is part of the plan.
A string of lectures are designed to give them insight into the capabilities and the opportunities that Interpol could offer in the aid of the attainment of our security management mandate.
To buttress its commitment to all this, the Minister of Police Affairs lays the foundation of the Nigeria Police Force Interpol National Central Bureau headquarters, a 7-story building expected to be a security hub in Nigeria. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
Minister of Police Affairs Mohammed Maigari Dingyadi has assured Nigerians of rapid improvement on the internal security architecture of the country, as the ministry is collaborating with the Interior Ministry and other relevant agencies to ensure general overhaul of the security landscape. The Police Affairs Minister stated this at a meeting in Abuja where he unveiled the ministry's roadmap. Don India has the report.
The increasing rate of homeland crimes is quite overwhelming for the police alone. This necessitated the move by the federal government to seek collaboration with other agencies to nip these challenges on the board. Kidnapping, militancy, violent extremism, cybercrime, armed robbery, insurgency, and lately banditry are the threats, and the minister says the end to all this crime is in sight.
The decision of Mr. President to establish this ministry is not unconnected with his commitment on the need to have better security for this country. I want to assure Nigerians that this ministry is going to work diligently to ensure that we bring the police in this country to the next level.
To realize these targets, Holistic approach is needed with strong surveillance on the infiltration of small arms and light weapons as well as illegal migrants through the borders.
These agencies must make the people first of all know that committing a crime will not be easy, and that if ultimately crimes that we don't want to happen is committed, they must know that they cannot escape.
With this presentation of the roadmap for internet security in the next 4 years, the ministers are optimistic that hope are on the rise for a better security architecture in the country. In Abuja, Tony Dia, NT News.
Nigeria is spearheading adoption of common political, diplomatic and operational strategies for African countries to positively impact on the economy of the sub-region. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, at the opening of the Summit of West and Central African sub-regions in Abuja, says that is the way to go. Oina Kalu Oka has the report.
Currency adjustments, congestion surcharge or war risk surcharge are maritime jargons referring to additional charge or payment which key players in the sector said has become a major challenge hindering the development of the maritime industry in African countries. Increase Uche is one of the participants from 13 West and Central African countries attending the Maritime Summit. He laments on how these problems have led to low trade among African countries.
There is no businessman that will encounter losses and still remain in business. So the impact is enormous.
It's also important that we come together in order to tackle this situation. If we don't, the spiraling cost of transport costs is threatening the national economies of our respective countries.
Presenting the Vice President's message, Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi charged African countries to unite in checking the trend, pointing out measures Nigerian government have put in place to address some of the challenges.
In 2018, the Nigerian Shippers Council harmonized the tariff nomenclature for local shipping charges in Nigeria, established a sustainable framework for future review of tariffs, and establish standards of service for all container terminals in Nigeria.
The summit is seen as a major step towards addressing the issue of surcharges in African seaports, as experts from the Global Shippers Forum and Union of African Shippers Council brainstorm to come up with suggestions. Oyinaya Kaloka, NTA News.
Spotlight is again being beamed on the role of investigators and prosecutors in combating crimes and ensuring speedy justice delivery at the National Judicial Institute, with emphasis on interagency synergy for efficiency in the justice sector. Now the report.
It is often said that for a society to understand criminality and abate its wave, there is need for interrelationship between all parts of the criminal justice sector. To fully realize this in Nigeria, investigators and prosecutors, not only from the criminal justice sector, but also the military, paramilitary, and other agencies have been brought together by the National Judicial Institute to brainstorm and come up with strategies that will enhance output. Focus here is on cooperation between prosecutors and investigators to influence law enforcement in the reduction and prevention of crimes in the country.
A prosecutor relies absolutely on the information of the investigator, so they work hand in hand.
Nigerians will expect to see a new investigators and prosecutors to bring to justice those who are actually prone to crime, and also those who are innocent will be made to let loose from the hook.
It's important that all agencies involved in investigation and prosecution get to synergize and we share ideas and information.
With the theme, adhering to the rule of law in investigations and prosecutions, the 5-day training, which is the second in its series, is to ensure that agencies operate in accordance with rule of law to avoid unnecessary detention and to decongest the courts.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja this Monday dismissed a suit challenging the decision of the All Progressives Congress, APC, to adopt indirect primaries for nominating its candidates for the forthcoming November 16, 2019 governorship election in Kogi State. The presiding judge, Justice Taiwo, who gave the ruling, upheld the preliminary objections filed by the APC challenging the suit. The court was of the opinion that the suit has been statute barred. Hence, the court lacked jurisdiction. Justice Taiwo also dismissed the suit against Abdullahi Bello-led Kogi State Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress, APC. It's just 3 days to the APC party primaries for Kogi and Bayelsa states, 8 days to the PDP primaries, and 82 days to the governorship elections in the two states. Mayor Ogidi
in Kogi,
Sema Yaba Okolo confirmed that the Boko Haram insurgents attacked the areas around 8 o'clock in the evening, setting houses and shops ablaze. Sympathizing with victims of the attack, Governor Babagana Umara informed the people that the closed-door meeting he held with President Muhammadu Buhari last Friday centered on the concerted efforts being made by the federal government to enhance security in Borno. He announced that modern houses will be built immediately to replace those destroyed by the insurgents and enjoined the people to be more vigilant. Youth volunteers under the civilian JTF in the area informed the governor that lack of patrol vehicles is their major constraint. Professor Babagana Umara presented 2 new patrol vehicles and charged security personnel operating in Konduga to intensify patrols around the local government. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Maiduguri. Kudu is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you, Naomi. Dark moment in the world of sports as one of Nigeria's finest departs. Details after this break.
Next level agenda and the mandate of the new ministers in focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The program every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. promises to be incisive and informative. Don't miss it.
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? Mine can.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your ice cream, custards, and variations of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
Hollandia. Hey, you! And are you how they talk to? I sabi you now. It's in your mind, Abi. The person with them go help us. Baba Torosa, Shangalo, Ogalekuva, Mr. Sabi. And you know if you carry last for this one.
A spear into the top corner.
We Sabi say Peking will crawl before in waka. So don't look, no help anybody. No dolly, no. So go for it. Go for football. Go for all Serie A and La Liga matches live. Go for GoTV Max.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
The International Tennis Federation announces dates for the 2019 Lagos Tennis Open Championship. Olumide Eguntola has these and the latest results from the ongoing African Games in Morocco.
In basketball, Nigeria defeated Mali 21